Welcome back, St. Marians. Once again, we are here for economics classes and chapter number 5. Today, we are going to discuss the measurements and determinants of elasticity of supply. So, last topic is there for chapter number 5 today, which we are going to discuss. Now, we can have first topic. Before starting the topic, we are going to discuss that I hope you have understood that concept which I was explaining in the last video, and if any doubt you can write me in comment section. I can solve your problem. So student, stay home, stay safe and keep on working because you have to prepare for your future. So I hope all of you are working well. Let's start today's topic, measurement of elasticity of supply. So what is elasticity of supply? It is already clear. So we are having two methods, percentage method as well as geometric or point method. So these three methods we'll discuss today. With this we'll also discuss the determinants of supply. So let us start the topic, percentage change method. So as we have make it clear before that percentage change in quantity supplied upon percentage change in price of the commodity. So that is the formula of this one. So whatever the change in the price, due to that whatever the change in the quantity supplied, that is known as percentage change method, and it is in percentage, so that's why we are multiplying by 100. So let us go through how this formula will derived as we have seen in previous one. So you see here that what is delta Q and Q here. So Q here the previous quantity and delta Q that change in the quantity supplied, means Q1 minus Q. Q1 is that final one and Q is the previous one. So delta Q will be Q1 minus Q. And same way P is the previous price, P1 maybe that next price. So P1 minus P will be delta P. So like that we are having what is delta P, delta Q, it is clear I think so. So delta and we have multiplied by 100. We have multiplied by 100 because we are counting percentage change. Here also we have multiplied by 100. So this 100 will be cancelled. So delta Q upon delta P multiplied P upon Q. So what is delta Q here? Change in quantity supplied. What is delta P here? Change in the price. What is P here? Previous price. What is Q here? That previous quantity before changing in the price. So I hope all these things are clear. Now we'll see one example, how to solve that numerical example. So problem number 3 I have taken from a book. A producer supplied 200 units of good at rupees 10. So what is here? Q is 200 unit, and what is another one? P here, P will be 10 rupees. So another one, price elasticity of supply is 2. So ES they have given 2, and how many units you have to find out? Rupees 11. So P1 is given here. So delta P will be 1. 10 minus 11 is equal to 1. So we are having 11 minus 10, P1 minus P. And then what is we have to identify? Delta Q we have to identify. So see here, delta Q we have to identify. Then delta Q will write as it is. So delta Q upon delta P, that is 1, 11 minus 10, and P is 10 and Q is 200. By solving this one we are getting delta Q is equal to 2 into 20 is equal to 40. So at rupees 11 that 240 units will be supplied in the market. So I hope it is clear. One more time I can make you understand. Delta Q we have to identify. Q is given 200 units, P is given 10, P1 is given 11, and what is remaining here? Delta P will identify 11 minus 10 is equal to 1, and delta Q we have to identify. So formula will apply, delta Q upon delta P into P upon Q. So 11 minus 10, 10 upon 200, then it will be 2 is equal to, ES is given here already 2. So delta Q upon 20 is equal to 2. So delta Q will be 2 into 20, 40 units. So 40 units plus 200 units, 200 was previous one plus 40, change in that quantity demanded. So total will be 240 units. So like that you can find out the answer. I hope this concept will clear to you. If you are having any doubt in numerical, then you can consult to me. So now we are going to discuss another method, that is geometric or point method. So you are watching this one, this figure number 1 in your book. So we have already find out that on x-axis and y-axis, if that quantity supplied is on x-axis, then it will be less than 1, and if it will be on y-axis, it will be more than 1. So you can see here that by this graph, it is being planted on x-axis. So ES is less than 1, and if it is planted on this one, next we can go through. If it is planted on y-axis, here we can see. So if we are planting on y-axis, then it is there more than 1, and if it is there on vertical, means on that vertex it is having on that point O, so it will be unity. So like that we can find out only ES will be more than 1, less than 1, or equal to 1. Unitary, elastic or inelastic we can find out by this method only. So it is very easy to find out. We will first point out till that x-axis and y-axis, and where it is pointing out, by that we can find out that elasticity will be more than 1, less than 1, or unitary. So only 3 calculations we can do by this method, that either the elasticity is more than 1 or less than 1 or unitary. Not more than that calculation may be done by this one. Only this calculation we can do. Means numerical value we cannot find out. That is possible only by percentage change method. So next we are going to discuss about if that see here we are not having that straight line as that supply curve. So what we have to do, simply we have to draw a straight line which will touch the point from where we are going to find out the elasticity of supply. Suppose K point, which is given in that picture, we have draw the straight line and plot it on the axis where it is going. So it is coming on x-axis. So x-axis, what was the elasticity of supply? Will be less than 1 or less elastic. Or if it will come on y-axis, it will be ES will be more than 1, and here ES will be less than 1, and if it will come on this line, then ES will be unitary. So like that we can find out that elasticity of supply, but we cannot find out the exact value as we have told in previous cases. Simply in point we will take on which we have to find out the elasticity, and we will make the straight line, and where it is touching the x-axis or y-axis we can find out, or that meeting point O, then we can find out it is more than 1, less than 1, or unitary. So this is the method only to find out the elasticity, not numerical value, but that nature of the elasticity, either elastic, more elastic, or unitary. So now we are going to discuss about next topic, and the determinants of elasticity of supply. So first topic we are going to discuss behavior of cost of production. So we can say so that if producer is willing to produce additional quantity, and what will happen? Increase in the additional quantity if that input price are increasing more. means to increase that quantity of production, his raw material or input price is increasing more than that the price, then supply will be inelastic. And if he is having that less change in that input and more change in the price, then supply will be more elastic. So is it clear what I said? Means if that producer is having less change in the input and more change in the price after additional production, then supply will be elastic, and more change in that input and less change in the price, then supply will be inelastic, because producers are willing to supply on low price, not high price. Next we are going to discuss time element. Already I have explained this topic well. So if the time period is very short or market period, in that time supply will be inelastic, not possible to increase the supply because of stock. Only stock can be clear by the producer. Additional production is not possible in the market supply or in market period. Second one, in short run if we are discussing about, then producer can increase the production little bit by increasing the working hours of the workers or having additional shift. He cannot have the new machines, he cannot have that new plants, so it is elastic but not perfectly elastic. But while we are discussing about long run, so producer can change the scale of production and supply will be 100% elastic, and he can change whatever that change he want in the production. So it is clear, I think so. Next topic we are going to discuss about nature of the commodity. So if we are discussing about durable goods or durable products, what are durable products which can be stored for long time, then supply for that one will be more elastic. Why? Because producer can store those one for long period of time. But while we are discussing about perishable goods, then supply will be less elastic, because he cannot keep them for long time, just like the fruits, vegetables, milk, and sweets, that producer cannot store them for long period of time. So supply for those products or those commodity will be less elastic. So next we are going to discuss about availability of facility for expanding output. So if what are the facilities for expanding output, means power supply, raw materials, and these facility or subsidies given by the government, if it is available, then supply will be more elastic. And if power supply or that other facilities and subsidies are not being given, then supply will be less elastic, because producer will have the loss in that case. So next we are going to discuss nature of input. So what is input? It is very clear, no need to tell again. So if that production of a product requires input are easily available, means that laborers or that labor is available, raw material is available easily, then the supply will be more elastic. And if that producer is not having that inputs easily available, then supply will be less elastic. So if he need that special workers, skilled workers, or that special raw material which is not available in that particular area, he has to import from outside, so that the supply of the commodity will be less elastic. Next we are going to discuss factors mobility. So factors mobility means where that transport and communication is available, or that easily resources can shift from one place to another place, then supply will be more elastic. And if facility is not available of mobility of resources, then supply will be inelastic. So next one we are going to discuss risk taking. So if producers are ready to take risk, then supply will be more elastic, because they can produce the product, either they are going in loss or profit, they are taking risk. So supply will be more elastic. And if that producers are not willing to take risk, then supply will be less elastic. So next one we are going to discuss expectations about future prices. So if producer thinks so that in future the price will increase, so they can hoard that commodity. So if they can hoard the commodity, then supply will be better in future. And if they are not holding that commodity, then supply will be less in the future. Or opposite of this one, that if producer thinks so that price of the commodity may fall down in the future, so they will supply the stock also, because they want to sell more and more product, because in future that price is going to be down, they will be in loss, so they will supply more in the market. And if they think so that future price will increase, so they will hold that stock and they will not supply in the market, so supply will be less elastic in that case. One more point is remaining in your book, which I have not mentioned in my slide, that I am going to tell you. Nature of techniques of production. So if we are going to sell out that complex product, or that product which we need for production of this which product we need complex techniques, then what may happen? It may happen that supply of that particular product will be inelastic. And on other hand, if we are having that products which are produced by simple technique, for those products that supply will be more elastic, because those techniques are available easily and without any extra efforts. So this thing is there for understanding about factors or determinants of elasticity of supply. So these are the factors which decide the elasticity of supply. So now we are going to discuss about that important part, test yourself. So student, short answer in your book, these are given on first page, 23. These are very short answers, total 36. So you can complete question number 1. You can complete question number 3, question number 1, question number 3, question number 6, 8, 9, and question number 14, 17, 20, 22, 23. Okay, on next page, you have to complete question number, wait a minute, let me enlarge the page. So you will complete question number 24, question number 27, question number 31, 34, 35, 36. So these 3 questions you will complete. And in short answers now we are moving. So short answers, question number 1, question number 3, question number 6, and then on next page, next page, question number 7, sorry for that one. So next page, question number 7, question number 9, question number 12, 14 and 10. So these questions you have to complete. Long answers, total questions are there in a book, 11. So you will complete question number 7, you will complete question number 3, you will complete question number 1 and 9, these 4 questions, and one more question number 11. And with that numerical problems you have to complete all. And all these answers you have to complete on your fair notebook. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and have a nice day. We'll meet again on Monday. Till then, goodbye.